Out of all of the classes that you guys could pick from to ask me to play, hundreds of times, of course it had to be the class that was entirely based on micro and speed for a guy that plays with like 300 ping on a good day. It had to be the class that required memorization of like 500 different things for a guy that doesn't even have the brain capacity to realize what's on his screen. Kerrigan point of view, yeah, they know the Slender Seeker was top right. Kerrigan recalled out, actually. Did I see that right? Am I losing my mind? I'm losing my mind. Kerrigan did not recall. What the fuck is wrong with me? And it had to be a class that requires a bit of precision with skill shots for a guy that hits 1 out of every 30 or so fungals. It couldn't just be like A1 or some shit. No, of course it had to be fucking Elementalist, right? And before I start the video, I do want to give a shout out to the people that helped me with learning Elementalist. Special thanks to Gabri and Starduck, who really helped me to learn the class, gave me some good build orders, helped me with some of the things I was having trouble with while learning. And also thanks to Etsy, who about maybe a year ago wrote out like an entire guide, only for me to go on to play like one game and then realize that this class is specifically designed for me to not want to play it. Anyway, here's me playing it. I had to practice with this class so many times to try and get the fucking build order down. There's so much to memorize. And even now, it's still, I'm not very fluid with it. And I will be upfront with you, this game is a loss. I promise I tried my hardest. And it was real close. It should have been a win, but thanks to this little monkey on tennis, we will see what happens later on. I could have shown you a game or a few games where I won, but the two that I did, well, the 2 games of Elementalist that I got closest to solo carrying happen to be losses, and I think it's going to be more interesting to take a look at that. So as we see at the moment, we kind of, there's not much to do, you kind of just get in position to farm outside of mid. There's so much to cover with this class, but I suppose we'll start off with what we start off with. So as soon as we kill 1 Zergling, we're going to get level 2, which will allow us to put a point into Fire Orb. With 3 of those on us, we'll be able to one-shot Zerglings. At 4 strength, you can then go and one-shot lings with only 2 orbs. Then at 12 strength, you only need 1 orb. Fire orbs, that is. Then after that, you should be maxing strength for a while on this build. So usually you can stick on 1 orb or something. We'll see how we go here. So we get the fire orb. You also want to merge these elements. I'm already taking damage, not a good look. But that's to get the fireball fast. We dump points into 4 strength. Then we're going to go for 12 agility, then back to strength. Agility just gives us a bit of attack range and some move speed. Next orb we want to get is Ice Orb, just so we can get that Ice Ball ready in case we have to escape. Especially if a Kerrigan comes near us. Like, we can always blink at the start, but then maybe you want to Ice Ball. So it's nice to get it second, and then third we get Storm Orb. So usually you want 1 or 2 Fire Orbs around you depending on your strength. So you can one-shot the lings, and then if you've taken damage you get 1 Ice Orb, or 2 Ice Orbs depending on whether or not you can one-shot lings. If you haven't taken damage, you go for the Storm Orbs. For the build, we're going to be, it's a shield build on this Elementalist. You kind of max out or focus on the shield talents. So we've already got 1 point in each. You pretty much put 1 point in every quest except the Creep Harass, and I think there's one more, but for some reason I'm in an Ice Ball. Oh my god, I have to go back to that. Did I miss my fucking Fireball? Yeah, TP across. Go for the Fireball. Oh, and they pull them back to hit me. So I Ice Ball to avoid the damage, then try and run them back into it. Run the Ice Ball back into it, that is, for a few kills. It's worth it, but you know, I should make sure I'm away from Kerrigan now. Anyway, as I was saying, for the talents, there's basically any that says reward new quest points. You want at least 1 point in it, which is everything except this Creep Harass thing. So you just get 1 point in everything. You focus on stay healthy. So we start with that, then we go in 1 point in each of these. And we want to focus on unscratch as well once we can get that immediately. That will give us more minerals per shield we get. And because we're focusing on strength, we're going to be upgrading strength to 60 now. We will be able to get much more mineral income. We see if you place a Storm Orb, each orb that you drop has different effects. Storm Orb, if you drop it, you can get high ground vision. Unfortunately, I can't actually quite hit that link. For talents, you want to go 5 levels in Untouched, 1 level in Last Aid, 2 in Revelations. Untouched just means you can run much faster when the Zerg aren't on you. Last Aid, it's nice to have 1 point just in case something goes wrong and you do take health damage. If you aren't full health as Elementalist, you don't get income when you kill stuff, so it's very important. And then the Revelations just reveal stuff when you damage it. It can be quite nice, especially if you're getting high ground vision. Place a Storm Orb here. We're getting ready to put 4k into it at some point. make sure to hotkey it, as we see we have. That way that you can just easily select it and go straight to putting stuff in it. Also, once you do put your stash in the orb, you can no longer select it unless it's in your vision for some reason. So it's always nice to have it on that hotkey so you can always select it. So for the talents after that, I don't know, honestly, I'm still not 100% certain on talents. I know what I go, it's just I don't, I'm not super familiar. I know we kind of want Storm Orb Mastery, Ice Orb Mastery, what else do we want? The Burn Them All, the Eye of the Storm, and the Elemental Overload, very late game if we can get them. But mostly it's just making sure we focus on these quests and this stash income that we're going to be getting. And it's going to be very important to make sure that every time a stash orb is about to go off, we are standing on creep, because it gives us like a bunch of extra experience and minerals as well, I think, but definitely experience. No, not definitely experience, actually, nor income. After a bit more reading, I've realized it's actually just to complete the Showtime quest. So once you've popped your first orb, getting those extra levels from the stash that you gained, being on creep, it'll be very easy to complete the Showtime quest, and that's why you do it. So it only matters for the first orb. Once you complete Showtime quest, you no longer need to worry about being on creep when the stash goes off. And that's kind of what gets you a huge amount of quest points and a huge amount of stats and all that. So we're already at 21 strength. I put a little bit in intelligence just to make sure I don't run out of energy while trying to escape and stuff. What are our skill points looking at now? So yeah, we've maxed out Unscratched, got 3 points in staying healthy. This is these two are our mineral boosters. It is currently the most consistent way to get minerals. You can go farm stacks as well, which is a different build that allows you to get a bunch of income based on killing units. But you do, this bar we see above our head, that's our farm stacks. If that ever reaches 0, we lose a lot of income farm stacks wise. It's kind of hard to explain. I'm not super familiar on it. But basically, that is another build. It's just less consistent because, like, as we see here, sometimes you lose the farm stacks and you kind of lose that momentum when it comes to your income. And it's honestly not that much faster than the shield income unless you're getting fed like crazy with Ling Balls and stuff. After that, we're probably, I think we focus on Study Hard once we max these two out. That way we get more experience and stuff. We can level up faster. Gaining minerals from farm income also grants you experience. Yeah. And shield income. Okay, so it is just a huge experience boost. Magical interest after that. That's just for a bunch of minerals. We should have 4k in the orb now. Yeah, we do. We did that a little bit ago. So the first one we do 4k, then we probably want to go and put down another orb. I imagine we're going to be doing that now since I'm kind of running away from mid. And I'll be trying to put 16k in that one next. We go in here. So we should have 1 point in all of these. I'm missing a few points actually. I guess I went too heavy on these quests. I think a bit of a mistake. I don't think there was a good reason for that. So we'll just focus on that. And usually you can swap spells around a lot during the game, but they do cost quite a bit. The Elementalist, it can kind of set you back a bit, so you don't always want to be spamming them unless it's going to get you a lot of kills, unless you need to really escape. But also, simply, I am not that familiar with all the combines at the moment. So as we look at the combine list, a lot of it comes down to muscle memory and just knowing exactly what orb turns into what spell, or what combination turns into what spell. Currently, I only know a few, so I'm more comfortable with just sitting on Fireball and Ice Ball until the late game. And it's not ideal. You can sometimes miss out on stuff, but like you can get away with just sitting on these two spells for the entire game. We see the 16k going into that orb now. How long on this one? 80 seconds. So in 80 seconds, we want to be standing on creep. You don't have to be deep on it. Even if we're just sitting on the edge here, we get a ton of extra income. So yeah, we want to just keep farming up, play a safe game, play a consistent game pretty much until we hit that point where we can go for a storm, a lightning storm, and that will be our real damage dealer on Kerrigan. We could Fireball here, but again, it costs you something. Why not just auto? We should kill most of it, miss 3. I think it was worth it to just auto instead of Fireball. I could be wrong though. Could be wrong. Anyway, also worth talking about what orbs to level up. Leveling up Storm Orb is nice. Can give you a little bit of extra late game power because you're going to be going for the Lightning Storm build, obviously. But Ice Orbs are nice as well for a bit of tankiness. Fire Orbs are a bit necessary to give you that potential to kill creep. It's going to give you a lot more damage, auto attack damage on the Fire Orbs that are around you, so you definitely want a few levels in this into the mid game so that you can eventually one-shot creep tumors with 2 orbs around you. Don't have the exact numbers on how many levels you need or how much strength you need. Speaking of strength, you see we are up to 39 now. That will be going up even more soon. How long till this pays off? Oh, it did just pay off, and I put 16k in. So we got a few levels off of that, as we can see. The 4k one, it gives you not so much, not too much. The 16k orbs are the big one, but the reason you put 4k in instead of going straight to 16k is just to get a few levels in the mid game, few extra levels basically. Now we should see that we have 1 point in everything except the creep tumor. I don't have an extra celery. That's just a mistake. I imagine, yeah, almost maxed out study hard. Next I'll be going for magical interest. See some lings up here. I could fireball it. I could maybe drop storm orb. I'm just farming tumors. So we see we are killing tumors with 2 fire orbs and only 3 points in this. I turn into the ice ball a little bit too late. I think I do take some damage on Elementalist there. But yeah, apparently just making sure well, that's kind of nice, that the Zerg don't get any damage on you is worth it. It's worth bursting the ice orb. It's worth the cost because you'll get more you'll get more minerals than it costs you for having full shields. How long till our 64k? 65 seconds. This will be a huge one. What talents are we looking at? So we did max out the untouched. We would now be going for the Ice Orb Mastery. Okay, and next I imagine Storm Orb Mastery or Burn Them All. I think I would go for Storm Orb Mastery next. But we're standing on creep. We're kind of waiting around this area to make sure we're not too far from creep so we can easily access it once this goes off. Take a little bit of damage here. Oh yeah, and when you take damage, you want to make sure you prioritize your ice orbs so that you can get some shield regeneration from them. There's so much to read on this class though, man. But now we're looking at 10 seconds, so I'm kind of waiting around the edge. I don't want to make Glivig TP to me, but now we just kind of stand around here. How many levels did we gain from that? I should have been watching, but we did gain 6 quest points. That's huge. 30 skill points, or probably like 27 skill points, 3 orb points or whatever. Huge amount of talents. You can see it's a massive amount of XP payoff. Also mineral payoff. We're now sitting at 56k. Next one will probably be stashing the... Why does this say stash 16k? That's 64k. So next one's probably stash 64k. I think you can do this build off of just 2 16k orbs, but because I'm not that confident of an ally player, I like to have more minerals because I don't actually know what the costs are. Because I'm going to end up wanting to get these spell upgrades, these multipliers, which do... Look, I'm not going to even read it all out. I'm just going to let you read that, pause and read that if you want. But basically, it makes our skills stronger for a much larger cost. So what are we sitting at now? Oh, it looks like I'm actually getting ready to do it. So I've queued up Lightning Storm, which is 3 Lightning Orbs. Queued up Freezing Field, which is 2 Ice Orbs and a Lightning Orb, I believe. Nice. And then I've got the orbs prepared to cast Sleep as well. So the reason we want 3 spells queued up already is because of, where is it? This talent. Casting 3 spells within the given interval gives you and all your spells and units 50% extra damage for 8 seconds. So that's pretty much why we want to make sure we're looking at 3 spells that we're going to use. I'm not putting the 64k in, so it looks like I am just going to go for it. I have 60 strength. You see, after we go 60 strength, we start just going pure intelligence. I have level 8 Storm Orb, level 3 Ice Orb, level 3 Fire Orb. And what are my quests looking like? So I did max out that study hard. I maxed out the creeper race as well, actually. I guess not so... I don't know why not so much in magical interest. Maybe I just got it too late. I probably started upgrading it after the 16k orb went off. But now I'm level 44. So with this build, you want to hang around your ally units. You need to be in your allies... Well, you don't fully need to be. If the Zerg's competent, you need to be in your ally units. I'm trying to do it here, actually. So we do that Lightning Storm. We do the Freezing Field. We do the Sleep. We get off how much damage there? Do I have to get out? I've got Ice Ball queued in case they TP on me. 18k damage. Not really what I'm looking for, but it's a nice little, starter to the build. Do I put... Yeah, I put 64k in now. So now we're like... now I'm like, oh shit, I actually don't do enough damage. Time to eco a bit more, get some more levels. So we'll wait for that to pop and then we'll do it. What was I saying though? I completely forgot what I was saying actually. Oh yeah, you want to stick in your allies' units. That way, kind of as we saw there, if Zerg can just auto-attack you, you're kind of in an okay position. You're not going to die. However, if they can spawn units on top of you, surround you with lings or something, you will die pretty fast. So you want to stand in a group of ally units that can eat up some of the attacks from the Zerg units. Not so much the hero. The hero is probably going to focus you, but the Zerg units, and it kind of stops you from being surroundable because your ally units are hopefully surrounding you. So that's why, so you do absolutely, at least I find, have to rely on your team for this quite a bit still. It's not like you can just run up to Zerg and end them solo. At least not the way I've done it. Maybe a better Elementalist could. But what are we up to now? We're waiting on this 200 second orb. We've maxed out, not quite maxed out Magical Interest actually. And then the rest I don't know what to do. After Magical Interest, after the paid off time, after these shields and the creep ras, I don't know what quest to max out. I think at that point it's just, you know, icing on the cake. However, for the talents, this is where it really comes important. You want maxed out Ice Orb Mastery, Storm Orb Mastery. You want them maxed out, burn them all. You want to max out Eye of the Storm and Elemental Overload, and obviously you need those early talents for the early game. So you need a huge amount of talent points. Now we're kind of just farming and buying time. I've been quite fortunate with Zerg Hunter not jumping on top of us. If they do, I've now actually got teleportation mark queued up just in case. I think I still have, yeah, a whole lot of multipliers, which I should be decreasing because now I'm just using these for escape spells as opposed to damage spells, so I don't need them with all those multipliers, and you can see how expensive they get. But we've also got the option to, if Zerg do jump on us, we drop an orb, we make it an ice orb, and what that does is it taunts the nearby Zerg and will slow them as well once it dies. So it's a great escape tool as well, and very cheap compared to casting our spells. So that's always the go-to, as well as Ice Orb. Ice Ball rather is very cheap as well, and it can save you from taking a lot of damage by giving you that second health bar. We've got 87 seconds left on the orb. Once that pops, we really want to go for it. What orb levels am I looking at? Level 10 Storm Orb, so I'm going to want to max that out, then go for the Ice Orb. Still just getting more intelligence. Yeah, and kind of hanging around the Artanis. I would much rather not burst any of these spells, probably because I'm looking at that teleportation mark and thinking, god damn, that's expensive, but I'm a monkey and I should just be decreasing the multiplier. It does cost a lot of gas to decrease and increase the multiplier, but you know, I'm holding enough really, and I will be standing on creep with the Storm Orb when it pops that. At this point, 128k. Hopefully I'm standing on creep anyway. But we're kind of pushing back creep here. Pretty much, since we're just buying time, we're here to support the team with a little bit of this map control. Kerrigan is kind of going around clearing the tower builders. And we're definitely going to need to... We're going to want to call a base probably once this pops. 7 seconds. Let's see how many levels we get. It should be pretty big. It's level 51 at the moment. We jump up to level 67, pretty huge. And the talents we get out of this are massive. So I'm going to max out everything that I want, basically. After all these grey abilities are maxed out, anything else is pretty much icing on the cake. What am I? Yeah, so Storm Orb maxed out now. I'm going for Ice Orb. Don't need Fire Orb anymore. That is mostly just for the mid-game or early game creep clear. And now we're sitting at 126 intelligence. We're pretty big. So now we're queuing up the abilities. I think did I activate the ability accidentally? I might have, but I'm sitting on 200k. I can afford to make mistakes at this point. We should have maxed out multipliers. We indeed do. Sitting on Freezing Field, Lightning Storm, queued up to get that sleep cast. Now we're kind of, I think I'm begging the Artanis to bring units to me. He is doing that. We'll see how that goes. Kind of dancing around here. I don't want Kerrigan to dash on me. A huge counter that Kerrigan can use is Mana Drain as well. Fortunately, this Kerrigan doesn't have Mana Drain. They could maybe get it now. But Mana Drain is huge on this, because even with all this intelligence, you do use up a lot of energy. And then this, I believe, yeah, it constantly drains energy to keep up. We drop that Freezing Aura Orb, but they run away. And you kind of, when you do this, you kind of want to stagger your spells as well. So, and it is because once Lightning Storm is on, it kind of ramps up in damage. So then you should be activating Lightning Storm first, I think, kind of sitting on it a bit. Then after a few seconds, Freezing Field, then a few more seconds, Sleep. And the reason for doing that is to get as much damage ramped up on the Lightning Storm as possible, or as reasonably possible, and then activate the Elemental Overload, where you get that huge burst of plus 50% damage. So that's kind of the go-to to do it. That's the idea, that's what you want to do. Should be, where is Kerrigan actually? Oh, she's up here, she moved up here. So we should be seeing the Ice Orb, not the Ice Orb, the Lightning Storm going off soon. Now I don't have anything in orbs, I'm not really farming, I'm just waiting for this opportunity to do damage. Spam picking this guy to put his Stalkers in position. He is finally doing that. So now I can just hang around these, hoping that Kerrigan jumps in, but she's headed off around here, funnily enough. What we need to do is meet her up here, kind of pinging the Stalkers, hoping he follows or sends them up. I don't want to be leading them. I don't want to be leading the charge. It's a bit worrying. Unfortunately, we don't get to control the top side of that ramp. Okay, activate the Lightning Storm, the Freezing Field. Getting some damage off. Let's see how much we're doing. We almost die here. So I activate the storm, the snow orbs, the ice orbs for that. What's it called, for that health and that shield regen. Get quite a lot of damage off. Plus 64k as they were chasing me there. We've still got that lightning storm on in case Kerrigan runs back in, but they won't. They won't. So now we kind of want to play it safe and ideally get these shields back up. Now I've got to kind of scramble because I'm not super smooth with everything. Got to scramble a bit to try and get all these spells back in order. So Freezing Field first. Got to get that Lightning Storm. There we go. And then it's 2 ice. Oh, but this guy blocks me off. So now it's just, what can you say? It's like, I tried so hard, but then you have monkeys on your team like this, and you can only do so much. So, look, I wish I could give you a game where I won. And I could give you games where I won, but it wouldn't be as impactful as I was this game. I wouldn't be able to show off a lot of the different stuff that Elementalist could do, because the team does too much damage too early on and carries me. So, I feel like this is the Elementalist video, and who knows, I now that I've kind of got things down, they will eventually get this Ascendant, and I believe, is anyone else alive? Swan, they'll get him too. Now that I've kind of memorized at least the core of Elementalist, maybe there'll be more Elementalist videos, probably not a lot. It's not my favorite class to play. Yeah, I think he just quits there or something, or I quit, it looks like. It's not my favorite class to play, but you know, it's not a hassle now. It's not a huge pain now that I know how the class works. So maybe we will in the future see a video where I manage to full carry and close out the game on Elementalist.